What's going on, everybody? Travis Thundercloud coming to you guys with another video, and in this video we will be discussing the legendary deck setup or level 60 PvP deck setup. This deck setup can really go from anywhere from level 60 to possibly even level 75, like how you use it. It has a lot of applications, so let's just go right into the deck setup. So what you're going to want in your deck is for shields, you're going to want tower shields, 6 of them, max. And the deck I'm using is the Storm deck of Squalls, of Sand Squalls, which you can get from farming the Stone Key boss in Zigzag and Lower Zigzag. So this is where you get the deck from. But anyway, you're going to want 6 Tower Shields, especially because Tower Shield is just a really good spell to have in general. And I don't want to go through how you spend your training points, but you're going to want to train up to Tower Shield, if anything, if you want in PvP. And it's not that hard, it's like 5 or 6 training points. But anyway, Tower Shields, especially for balance, like this is mainly for balance, geared toward balance, but it can be applied to any school, whatever. You're going to want 4 Volcanic Shields because you face a moderate amount of storms and fire, and in 60 PvP, especially with the post-Polaris update, you face a lot of people that critical, so you're going to want this minus 70 storm, especially against storm and fire. For enchants, you're going to want max Gargantuans in your deck, or if you went to level 68 and you got the spell from Drum Jungle, you can put Colossals in, but we're not going to talk about that now. The most general sense is you're going to want Gargantuan in. You're going to want 2 Entangles, and where you can train this from is the Secret Shop in Colossus Boulevard. You can just go and search them up. But you're going to want 2 Entangles in for people who like to spam like satyrs and stuff. I faced a lot of people who spam satyrs and then just hit you. Gonna want 2 pixies to get off these kind of entangles. Also infections that you're gonna want to get off. So you're gonna want 2 pixies to set up for your 4-pip satyr, which you're gonna want in your deck. This is really good for healing when you're really low health, and it's like an instant heal rather than availing hands or anything of that nature. For your bubble, you're going to want Conviction. It used to be infallible because you used to want to pierce through a lot of the resistance, but post-Polaris update, critical is basically broken. So you're going to want max Conviction, and if you don't get that, you're going to want to buy some TC Convictions, because you can't really get Conviction until you are a Sergeant and you have a training point, and then you train it from Diego, the Duelist Master. But until then, you're going to want treasure card convictions, but conviction is something that you definitely want in your deck post Polaris update because it prevents against stuns and crit block, and it's just a good spell all around. You're gonna want 4 infections just in case you can't find this entangle. You're gonna want 4 infections to reduce the amount of healing that they can do. This is especially geared towards storm setup. Basically, this is the best, especially if you're going against a fire or somebody who likes to spam storm dispels. This is good because if someone spams a Storm Dispel on you, you can just use this 0-pip spell to get off a Storm Dispel. Or if you're going against Fire and they use Ifrit and you see the Ifrit coming, you can use Cleanse Charm to get Ifrit off of you. And you can also use this to get off Entangles and Infection. So this is just a good spell to have all around. No one usually carries them in the deck. So when you see somebody use this, you're just like, what the hell? Because like you don't tend to see it, but it's really a useful spell. You're going to want 2 Dark Winds in because it's a bubble war, especially against Grandmasters who need their bubble to do a moderate amount of damage. So you're going to want 2 bubbles in your main deck. And you're going to have more bubbles in your treasure card deck, but you're going to want 2 bubbles in your main deck, so you may not have to use your treasure card deck. 2 Insane Bolts. Literally, these are for last chance scenarios. Sometimes I use them because I'm like, what the hell ever, I'm gonna die anyway. But these are usually for last chance scenarios. Like, if you're pretty low health, they're pretty low health, they have a lot of pips, you're going first. Why not Insane Bolt? Because if they're gonna kill you anyway, you might as well kill yourself. And if you it's like a 50-50 chance. Either you kill yourself and you were gonna lose anyway, or you kill them and like you come off with a win with a clutch. So it's a good spell. You're going to want 3 Krakens in because it's 4-pip, and with Gargantuan, it does a pretty good amount. You're going to want 3 Leviathans in, mainly because Leviathan is really good for getting off blades and doing a massive amount of damage. You can alternate this with Catch of the Day if you have it. You can take out 1 Kraken, 1 Leviathan, put in 2 Catch of the Days, and you can do that. But this is basically for anyone who doesn't have Catch of the Day. 4 lightning bats because it's 2 pip spells with gargantuan. It does anywhere between 480 to 500 and something, so it's a pretty good spell, and it does a moderate amount of damage, especially if you have damage from your pet and your gear, which is like all Sky Scream gear. You're going to want 4 Stormlords in because Stormlord is basically the strat that most Legendary Storm PvP revolves around. You Stormlord, they get a stun, and then you have a free open hit on them. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to save up your pips. You're going to want to do get around somewhere between 10 pips and 8 pips. Use the Stormlord, then you can follow up with a Kraken or a Triton or a Wild Bolt, whatever you find in your favor or whatever you have in your hand. 3 Tritons because it's a good spell for its pip amount. 6 pips when you gargantuan it does 1,000 base, so that's pretty good. 6 Wild Bolts because Wild Bolt is a maze, especially in Legendary PvP, mainly because of the luck factor, but it's also used for utility to get off shields. So if someone throws up a volcanic shield, per se, you can just use a Wild Bolt and get it off. And if they don't, and you just want to do, what I usually do is first round, if I have a Wild Bolt in my hand, I'll use Wild Bolt, because it's like a 50-50 chance, and it's a win-win thing. So if you use Wild Bolt and you happen to get the max, you do a lot of damage to them. But it's also good because you can test their resist and see how much your Wild Bolt and how much your damage is going to do, so you know what to use in the future. So that's your main deck. So we're going to go ahead and head over to the treasure card deck. So in your treasure card deck, you're going to want 5 tower shields, because tower shields are always great, especially against balance, which is a school that you face a lot. You're going to want 2 satyrs in your treasure card deck, just in case you can't find the satyr in your main deck and you want to get a heal so you don't die as quickly. You're going to want 4 convictions in your side deck, so you have 10 convictions all around in your deck, so you can find it almost anywhere or at any time that you need it. And this is especially good against Myth, who like to Basilisk or use Medusa and then do like a combo on you. So it's especially good against Myth. You're going to want 3 Dark Winds in your deck because of the Bubble War that is constantly going on forever. So this Bubble War, you will win if you have 3 Dark Winds in your side deck. So for all these attack spells that I have in, I go to the Archivist and buy Gargantuans, and then I go and enchant them while I am in Unicorn Way. So you just buy Gargantuans, you get another deck, you fill your side deck with Gargantuan, and then you apply it to a spell in your deck, and then it becomes a treasure card. So you're going to want 2 Krakens, because Krakens is always a good spell to finish off with after you use, say, Stormlord or Triton or Wild Bolt, and you get max damage. 3 Stormlords, because Stormlord is the spell that you're going to want to use, especially unless they have a conviction up, then you can just go for the Triton Wild Bolt kind of thing. 2 Tritons and 4 Wild Bolts. We're not going to go over why we have these in, because we already talked about it. 3 Black Mantles, because if you want to save up for a hit, or you get a new pip and you don't want them hitting and they don't have an infallible up, a lot of schools at this level don't have 100% accuracy. So if you take off 55%, it's basically under 50% that they're going to get through the spell. So it's a really good option. Like, the odds are in your favor on this one. Going to want 2 weakness in, is if you're going against Grandmaster Ice or Grandmaster Death, who do overtime damage. Weakness applies the overtime damage. It applies the 30% to the whole overtime, rather than a shield who just applies it to the first time. So that's good. So for reshuffles, you're going to want 2 of the 3 pip reshuffles, and you get these from Herald in the commons, in the library in the commons. You can just buy reshuffles. They're pretty costly, so you're going to want to farm for gold. But how many do I have? I have a pretty good amount, so I'm pretty set. It usually doesn't come to this, because you usually end the game, or they end the game before this. But it's always good to have reshuffles in your side deck, just in case you go for the long drawn out game. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you watched it all through and you agree with my deck setup and you like it, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe to my video. Subscribe to my channel for more updates on Storm and more updates on Storm PvP. I will be coming out with a Prodigus deck setup pretty soon, because I'm going to be getting a character, 2 Prodigists, just so I can do a deck setup for that, and also a level 100 deck setup, and any level in between. Just comment what deck setup that you want from me, and I will be sure to come through with that. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I will see you guys next time.